Alright, YouTubers, do the video here how we do our rigs to catch different fish and tell you some knots. And I like to use a Carolina rig. Billy does something different. He uses a little drop rig. We'll start off with this broken line first. Basically, I'm going to show you how I tie knots, and I'm going to do a sheephead rig for you. Next video, I'll probably just show you how I do redfish or whatever. But I'm going to show you the hooks, swivels, stuff like that I use. By the way, this backpack here, fishing backpack, anybody's interested in one? Wild River Nomad XP. Might be a little bit overkill, but better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. Yeah, it's got a mobile charger and it's got all the different connections in it. Comes with a light here also. That shines down inside this little pouch for your stuff. Also, there's a hole here that light goes into when you open up the top of the backpack. It actually shines down inside the backpack as well. Anyhow, alright, back to the rig. Alright. So, anyways, get the trays out here for you. Alright, here's my hook box, and the little lures in there. This is my actual main rig box. And this is my sinker tray. Now, to start off with, what I like to do for sheephead, how I fish for them anyhow. I'll go fish different for them. Where I go for this to the spillway, I'll see in my videos, I use a 1.5 ounce egg sinker. Basically do a Carolina rig, start off with the sinker first. No sense in using a bead because they bust off, the sinkers bust the beads off. You get with the barrel swivel. Now, I'm going to show you the knot that I use to start off with a barrel swivel. It's very simple, very easy. It's called a polymer knot. It's very quick. Mono is a pain in the butt to do it because of how the line memory. Braid's a lot easier with this. Anyhow, you just do a loop your line. Get you enough tag though, big enough loop until you get familiar with this knot. You run it through your eye of the swivel. You basically just wrap it around, run it back through the hole. Then you take your swivel, run it back through the loop that you just ran through your hole in the line that you was going to do a knot with. And then you just pull both ends so it tightens down, and pull one and then the other, and it cinches it down. Cut your tag end off. Well, these are scissors I got from Salt Strong. These are okay scissors. They're not all that great. I've broken 2 pair just cutting regular line with them, but they're decent. I got them for next to nothing. I like to use about close to a 3-foot leader. Not too long, not too short, because the spillway you can't get hung up in the rocks really easy. Cut this off. Make sure you don't lose your weight down there. Hold that in your mouth. Now, you come back and you finish your Carolina rig. Now here's the second knot that I'm going to show you how to do. This knot's really good as well. You can still do the polymer knot with this, but it's a little more difficult if you know what you're doing. This here is called the modified uni. You go through the eye of the swivel, and you wrap it against the eye of the swivel. Pull a lot of tag line until you get familiar with the knot again. Run the line down the side of each other. Come up here. Pinch it off, loop this back down. Now, what you want to do is wrap this about, some people do it 7, some people do 8, I like 10. So we're going to wrap this 10 times. That's why you have to have a lot of tag line. So there's 1. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And that's why you have to have a lot of tag line. 8, 9, and just a little bit left for number 10, and we got it. 10. Boom. Take that and just pull that like you do a regular cinch knot. It cinches down, and then, boop, right there. Pull, pull. Put your tag on. Now, what I like to use at the end of my leader is the barrel swivel with a quick connect on it. That way it's easy for switching hooks. When you're fishing for sheep's head, you may have to go with a smaller hook, or you may only go with a bigger one. And then you go again with the polymer knot. Very simple, very quick. Same thing I showed you on the very first knot that I'd done with the barrel swivel. Loop through the eye, run it around like you're going to tie a knot in it. You run it back through the loop, take your swivel, run it back through the loop again, and pull your tag lines. Tighten down, and cut. Alright, that quick, that easy, that simple. Now the hooks that I like to use for sheep's head varies on the size of the sheep head that are biting, to be honest with you. My go-to choice of hook so far that I've found that works really good is the SureSet Drop Shot. It's a 1/0, not even a circle hook. It's kind of like a J hook, but I believe they call it a bait hook. This is what it looks like. Now, keep in mind, this isn't jigging for sheephead. This is fishing in turbulent water for sheep's head. That's the size of the hook. Very good hook. Now, if the sheephead are very small, you know, under 9 inches, I can't guarantee you that you're going to set the hook on these suckers every time. But if you want to know another couple great hooks that are good for, you know, smaller sheephead, just if you want to catch on it, you're not keeping no 9, 10 sheephead. You keep them 12 inches. Would be this one. Yes, right here. There's another good one. Size 2 J hook. I mean, this is the brand that I got here, but Eagle Claw works very, very, very well. Number 2 J hooks and number 4 J hooks. I do not recommend number 4 circle hook because they are a little bit too small. I do recommend a number 1 size circle hook or a number 2 size circle hook though as well. So once you figure out what hook you want, you just put it on there, connect it back, and then you're good to go. Now this rig doesn't just work for sheephead, and this is not the pole that I'm using also. I'm going to redo this rod. This rig, when it says a Carolina rig, it's good for catfish, it's good for redfish, it's good for basically any type of bottom fishing that you want to do. The other style rig that we use is basically called a drop rig. What you do is you take your sinker, just like it is here. Imagine this, the leader isn't on there. You just tie your sinker at the bottom of your line. You come up maybe 6 inches or so. I mean, it depends on how high you want your bait off of the bottom. You do a loop in your line, like that, and you tie a knot right here on the loop of the line. So that way, when you have the loop in this line right here, you can take a hook, just for example, take a hook, the loop of the line, you run it through the back of the hook, and then you just take the hook and run it through the loop of your mono, your braid, or whatever line you use, and bam, your hook is on there, And once you have the knot in here, that hook is not going anywhere. The weight sits at the bottom, and if you have a current or any type of flow going through the water, your bait is going to be up off the bottom a little bit, depending on how deep the fish are or where the fish are swimming. It'll put it right in their face. So that's what we call the drop rig. This is what Billy and Bill and Brentley use. I prefer my Carolina rig. I've always done good luck on it. I don't really care for these types of rigs right here at the spillway, just due to the rocks, because the weight likes to get stuck in between the rocks a lot. The rig that I use, it kind of rolls across the bottom. You don't have to worry about this being separate from the weight getting hung in separate rocks. Normally, whenever I get hung at the spillway, I get my rig back. I don't like to break my stuff. I don't lose my tackle. So losing tackle is expensive. This very expensive when you go to the spillway. So those are the basic things that we do at the spillway. Basic things we do for fishing for almost any fish you've seen us catch so far. There are a few other things that we will be showing you in the future. We're going to be heading to Shell Mountain. We're going to make another video for y'all. Anyhow, if y'all like this video, please like and subscribe, and we will show y'all a lot more tips and tricks. Thank y'all.